Hi everybody. The topic of the day today is Raicilla, to follow on from my Agave series this week, which has already featured tequila and mezcal. So Raicilla is another agave spirit produced in Mexico, which you may not have heard of as it isn't produced in as huge quantities as tequila, but it is still made from agaves. Um, as a spirit, it doesn't have anywhere near as many regulations as tequila in terms of how it can be made. So an example of that is the fact that you can actually make the Raicilla spirit from a number of different agave varieties, unlike tequila, which always has to be made from 51% blue Weber agave spirit. So when it comes to Raicilla, there are a number of agave species which can be used to make it. And one of the most commonly used species of agaves to make Raicilla is called Agave Maximiliana. But it's not the only one. In the video I did about mezcal, I mentioned the species known as espadin, which is used to make mezcal. You can even use that agave to make Raicilla as well. So there really is a lot of choice. There's also a lot more freedom in terms of the general finish of the product. So how many times it is distilled and filtered, or how much it's aged. You can make all kinds of different expressions of Raicilla. But in terms of how it is different as a product, the flavour is, of course, different because it's a different species of agave. So as well as getting those earthy notes that you get from tequila, there is also quite a lot of a floral aspect to the aroma of Raicilla. And I always think it's an interesting hybrid between tequila and mezcal, because you do get a hint of smoke when you try a Raicilla spirit, but it isn't the really, really strong, prominent smokiness that you get from mezcal. So it's kind of a good little in between the two extremes of tequila and mezcal. And it's definitely one to look out for. As I say, I mean, it's not produced all over Mexico. To be honest with you, the place that it is most produced, I believe, is Jalisco. So it's not actually all over Mexico. But if you go to a really, really good Mexican bar or restaurant, they may have a Raicilla on the back bar, so it might be worth checking it out. I've never tried Raicilla, but I actually have a really small sample bottle that I'm going to try tonight. And just in case you're interested, the brand of my Raicilla that I'm trying tonight is called Estancia. So there are different brands, but they're all quite small batch. It can be quite expensive to buy a bottle of Raicilla, also mezcal as well, really, because they are quite small batch products. Sometimes the bottles that you can buy aren't 70 cls, they're like 50 cls. But yeah, the understanding that I have about the specific one that I'm going to try is that this one has been distilled twice. Often Raicillas are only distilled once, because the idea is that you want to keep those really original flavors that are really unique to that specific agave. So by distilling it only once, you're not purifying the finished spirit too much, that you don't get that really unique distinct flavor that we've mentioned. So those floral notes, and also the hint of smoke that I mentioned as well. So look out for a Raicilla next time you go to a Mexican bar, and and if you try one, let me know what you think. Put a message in the comments.